So you've come into my shop and you want to know a little bit about why I'm here, who I am. Well, my name is David Drummond and I have a shop entitled Pleasures of Pastimes, which is a play on the past and the pleasure of the pastimes of the past. We used to have Victorians coming here who'd remember their childhood and see a book published in the 1880s, and see, when I was here, 1967, they were remembering their own childhood. You know, I had one man here who looked wonderful. He was 90, and I thought it's about time that my grandchildren should read the sort of book that I had. Well, it doesn't always work actually, because as I found with my own children, I thought, oh, that's uplifting, that looks good, that's interesting. No, they go and buy a modern paperback Doctor Who, and my youngest son would read his new Doctor Who books like that, so he wouldn't split the spine. So he's learning, you know, he's now a collector. Now, when I first came here 42 years ago, the shops on the whole all had books of an age more than modern books. There was one shop that was immediately opposite me that did specialise in relatively modern books and used to supply them as they came out to all the universities. And there was another one that specialised, it was a Welsh bookshop. There were no bookshops in Cardiff, believe it or not, and this shop used to supply all the Welsh books. And the sad thing is, as you will find in a number of bookshops, that you have to contend with those who like things but they don't like paying for them. And so I found whole boxes of postcards were being stolen, and this is one of the sad things of today. So I never encourage too many people to be in the shop at one time, because under the cover of that, right, you have theft. And there have been sort of, you know, quite amusing times I've had in the past where I have caught a felon. You see, I have a bell that rings. You see, that's an old cowbell, I think. Anyway, it taps the door. And my wife always knows when she's on the phone to me that someone's come into the shop because of the... we've got a visitor in the shop. I'm being filmed at the moment. Doesn't matter, you're part of it.
One question. Have you got books about First World War?
No. No, I have no books on the First World War. Or the Second World War. Or any impending one either. Let's hope. Oh, I got it on eBay. Oh, I saw it on eBay. You don't want to know. It could be useful, and I find it's a rather sad thing actually. You find some of the shops, they seem to be totally doing their business this way. It's a sad thing that there are insufficient people coming into the shops to buy. I had one day this week where I had one customer in the West End. You know, it's ridiculous. And so eBay, it can be useful. It's also people talk about it as if it's some form of God, and it isn't. You're not necessarily buying anything cheaper on eBay, but it's a convenience, I will admit, for say someone who can't get to a bookshop. But those who do come in the shop, that's very nice. It's to come into a shop and make personal contact with someone, and then you can say, well, I haven't got that book, I don't know if you've heard of this, and they introduce them to something else. Oh, didn't know about that. Yes, it's interesting, and they like it. Good afternoon. One of my customers, from time to time, appears upon the scene.
Just to say, you haven't got any new Tree or new Irving or new Terry?
I have a couple of very nice cabinet photographs of Tree on the side of the window, signed. Ooh!
Okay. Do you know what part he's playing here?
Looks something like Herod.
But he did appear in Herod, but he didn't look like that in Herod, David, I'm afraid.
It looks a bit like a Herod.
But do you see its hills and Saunders? It's very unusual, isn't it, altogether? The whole thing is fascinating.
There's one of Clement Scott. Oh, there's a Beerbohm tree.
Oh, well, that one he will have. That one, I'm afraid, he has. I bought it for him myself.
There's another of Terrace, and another of Terrace, but these are Lewis Waller. I thought that was rather nice. Isn't that? That's a stunning one.
That one. So those two will buy straight off. I'm slightly tempted with Clement Scott. If you can do me a slight deal.
Oh, I think with Clement Scott, he's pretty boring on the whole.
Well, I know, but he's not a boring price, I'm afraid. No, I'd love that, but that is beyond. I mean, that is. Are they very rare? Terraces?
The Terrace. Oh, incredibly.
Great. David, you're absolute hero. Sorry to hold you all up. You can now get the great man. really good to see you. And what a coup. What a coup. Pretty good that, isn't it?
Yeah.
My brother is going to go absolutely bananas with that, with those
I look forward
treats.
We haven't got any of my notices around what I think are mobile phones. They're not allowed in the shop. What is it? I usually have a notice. There we are. You've got that now. The phone's ringing now. An inquiry of some sort. 8361142. It's quite possible that some of us may not survive here in Cecil Court. And there's not a great incentive when you're 80 years old, as I will be, to really do this. But then my visitors say, but what are you going to do with it all? And so I tell them with a perfectly straight face that I'm going to hire a barge on the Thames. I'm going to pile all the books onto this barge. It's then going to be set alight. And then, like they do in India, or used to do in India, my wife is going to throw herself on the flames, called committing sutti, because she loves me so much. And then the barge is going to be blown into the Houses of Parliament and do what Guy Fawkes was unable. So that's what's going to happen to my stock. I hope not, actually. Somebody thought that'd make a good scenario for a book. Bad taste, isn't it?